Hi there, Jessica. Welcome. I'm so happy to be talking with you today. So, as you're kind of thinking about your journey through the Women's Health Coach Certification Program, first just introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about where you came from, what you were doing before, your background.
Yeah, so my name is Jessica. I'm from Northern California. So, what's drawn me to this health coaching is that I've always been one to want to help people. So, whether that was physically or emotionally, I always was drawn to those kind of people and just that connection. I started out going into social psychology and behavioral psychology in college. I thought I wanted to be a therapist, so I went down that path. And then I was just led down this other path. I realized that it wasn't fitting into my lifestyle that I wanted. So I knew that I wanted to work in helping people. So I just was trying to find other ways that I could get into this space. So I didn't know a whole lot about health coaching. I had a life coach, and so I thought, let me look into that. And then I found health coaching, which I felt like, oh, this would be really great to some of my background and to help people through some of those more emotional things, not just life coaching. Like it was more helping them emotionally and just supporting them through some life challenges as well.
Yeah. So, your background in psychology and behavioral psychology and your undergrad degree and all of that really led you to this place because while you've always wanted to help people, there was a challenge with kind of like the work-life balance and how you wanted to, how you wanted to be able to work. You wanted more flexibility. Is that right? More income potential? What were you thinking in terms of what health coaching could do for you?
Yeah, I think ever since COVID happened, I was at home a lot and I really enjoyed the work-life balance. I was going through school online during COVID, doing my master's. I really enjoyed just that flexibility. And then when they said we had to start going back, I just felt like my life isn't set up for this. I have my daughter and, our life changed, and just being here with her, my life wasn't set up to just leave her in the evenings when they were holding courses. And also I just thought about my life on this path, and I felt like, well, also because of like my family expanding, I thought, well, I can't give another 40 hours a week doing practicum. Like that's just not feasible for me. I just couldn't envision that.
Yeah. And so you had the kind of work-life balance challenge, the time to fit it all in, the fact that you wanted to be able to work from home and not leave your daughter, not only in the training, but when you're now working with clients. So was there anything you were hesitating on when you were thinking about transitioning into the Women's Health Coach certification? Were you worried about the time or the resources or what your people might think? What kind of were your hesitations before you started?
So my hesitations were just, I spent so much time in college and trying to figure that out. And then the investment as well. I had all this like student debt and just felt like, what's another few more years?
Right.
But yeah, so that was really what held me back, was I just felt like I was so invested and I didn't want to like walk away from something that I had started and spent so many years getting into. But my husband and my family, they were all really supportive of this, and it wasn't easy. So but it was a good choice to make now that I've done the program and I'm done. And, I've been seeing now where I want to be just as like career growth. It's starting to come together.
Yeah. So in the time since you've graduated, let's talk about some of your benchmarks, and milestones already, which, hasn't been that much time. What are some of the amazing things you're already doing? When did you graduate? It was only very recently, right?
Yeah, it was very recently. I think just January or something like that. I think
Okay.
I made a goal for myself. I wanted to finish either maybe before Christmas, actually. Maybe it was before that.
So about
Um,
2 months, and
yeah,
already you're already like on social media, you've got clients, like what's going on? It sounds like there's a lot of excitement with the
yeah.
practice.
So while I was also doing the program, I was also thinking about what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to like a business coach and I joined like a community. And that just really helped me define my niche and just where I wanted to go. And um, also, I'm working on my hours for the board.
NBHWC
Yeah, the
boards. Yeah.
NBHWC. Yeah, I'm working on those hours and just kind of like word of mouth too. It wasn't just all social media. I realized also what worked for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, and that's what we talk about a lot in our business coaching part of the program, that you don't have to be a social media influencer by any stretch to have a really successful coaching practice. You're only 2 months graduated, but really got clear on who you want to serve and the kinds of clients you want to work with. And you're already, starting to get pretty booked up with your clients. So that's really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's really rewarding. And also, I'm also just signed on to work as a health coach at a company part time too. So that's I didn't even really realize that that was something that I would um, be drawn to, and it's helping women with weight loss. And there's just so many layers under that too. Um,
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's so interesting because a lot of times people think with health coaching, you have to start your own practice, but more
mhm.
and more there, especially if you're on the path to, or you have that board certification from NBHWC, there are more and more jobs in health coaching and many of them are flexible. They're working from home. Are you able to work from home remotely?
Yeah, I'm able to do that, and then it's very flexible because it's part time, and I'm also doing my own clients on the side. So
Yeah.
it's perfect. It gives me that experience too, that I also gaining the confidence.
That's fantastic. So when you think about the program, obviously there is a lot of education to it, a lot of the training modules, and then there's the coaching piece and the part where you're coached and you practice your coaching and you work with your master coach and you work with other students in the program and are inspired by some of our graduates or some of the students further along. And, what part, there's that accountability piece, there's the weekly calls. So what parts of it did you most enjoy?
I really enjoyed the retreats. I
Mhm.
really enjoyed being with other women and just feeling that it felt very personable. Um, and I also have made some friendships outside of the program. Just and there, it seems like they will be lifelong friendships, and we just support each other. So the retreats were really nice. I looked at a bunch of different programs, and they didn't have retreats. It just didn't seem like there was anything like this. So I really like that feel of feeling like I was part of a community and just supported by other women.
That's really nice. I love those are some of my favorite stories having done this for so long now is so many of our students and graduates really make true friendships in the program. And, sometimes they do work collaborations, but other times they just check in with each other or meet for coffee when they're visiting different cities. And I love hearing those stories. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So if you think about, where you were and the fact that you felt like you had to sort of cut your losses and then you're like, took the leap. And now that you're on the other side of it, what worked the best for you in terms of the program? And what would you most recommend to people who are kind of on the fence right now and thinking about taking the leap?
Um, Yeah, so what worked for me was also the flexibility to go at my own
Mm.
pace. I was fortunate enough to just focus on this program. So I went from full-time college student to switching to this, and I applied that to
Mm.
this. Just having that already in my mind, like a student. So I just continued on that and having that discipline. Um, so yeah, I would recommend this to. I've already recommended this program to a few other women that I know. I really love how everyone's just so supportive and helpful, even if you are on the fence, and I definitely was too, looking at different programs.
Yeah. And so having, made this decision, is there anything specific about the program that, really solidified you're like, okay, this was the right choice for me?
I think, yeah, by the end of it, just learning everything that I learned just not just the coaching side, but what solidified it was also the evidence behind it
Mm.
too. Just knowing that, having that confidence that what I was going to be helping other women with was backed by evidence and science. And that was a big part of, for me, which drew me to this program too, was because coming from that psychology background, we go off a lot of evidence and science space. So that was like the icing on the cake too for me.
Yeah. So the scientific rigor was really important to
Yeah.
you because you saw, in an undergraduate program that it does really matter, the clinical training, if you will, that you get in terms of that scientific rigor can be really important to how you're supporting your clients. So, well, congratulations so much on such a huge transition in such a relatively short period of time. You're already so successful in your new practice. And I'm so glad that not only do you have that financial success and that work-life balance and the time flexibility, but you're really able to be home with your daughter and being present with her. And I know that was so important to you coming in, so I'm glad to see it's really happened. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad to be a part of this community and just continue on with it as well. And I know that I have the support from everybody also in the calls and just the Facebook group. So I love being a part of it. So thank you.
Thank you. We absolutely love having you in the community. And I do love that too, the fact that we have this community and we have women and graduates and people from all different perspectives in our community that have been with us, many since, we started in 2009, 2011. And, it's been a long time now, and the community keeps growing with really high quality women who are all focused on a pretty similar goal, which makes it really fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we're all from different levels too. Some people are different places in their life. And that was another thing I felt like, well, I don't really have that like clinical background, but you don't need that to be successful in this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. Congratulations on all your success. And we just love having you as a part of the IWHI community.
Very great. Thank you.
Thanks so much.